The Little Stranger, 2009, is a gothic ghost story by Jessica Waters that interweaves themes of family, loss, legacy, and love with a touch of the supernatural. Known primarily for her twist-filled narratives featuring lesbian protagonists, Waters deliberately departs from her usual style in this novel. Critics agree that the story steadily builds an atmosphere of terror and suspense in a straightforward manner, though some argue that this culminates in an anticlimactic ending. Waters herself has explained that she aimed to maintain an eerie, inexplicable quality throughout the narrative, deliberately avoiding a neat, definitive conclusion. This deliberate ambiguity is essential to the novel's thematic core. Set in post-World War II London, the story follows Dr. Faraday, who is summoned to 100 Halls, the decaying estate of the Ayres family. He is there to treat Roderick, the eldest son, whose poorly healed war injuries are compounded by unusual personal changes. As Faraday tours the once grand but now economically burdened property, plagued by high taxes, expensive upkeep, and a general air of decline, he becomes increasingly unsettled by an omnipresent sense of history, decay, and mystery. Amidst this backdrop, Roderick's mother organizes a large party to help her only unmarried daughter, Caroline, meet potential suitors. However, the fragile family dynamic is shattered when the family's kindly old Labrador attacks a young child. In the aftermath, Roderick's behavior shifts drastically. His mood darkens and he turns to alcohol. When confronted, Roderick reveals that on the night of the attack, a mysterious, invisible force had fixated on him. A revelation that is visually underscored by burn marks appearing on his wall and his room mysteriously catching fire. Soon after, Roderick is committed to a mental institution. Throughout his time at 100 Halls, Faraday forms a deep connection with Caroline, a relationship that straddles the line between friendship and romance. His discussions with the family members and the two maids confirm that something inexplicable is unfolding within the manor. Faraday begins to suspect that the estate might be haunted by a malignant presence, a dark, consuming force born from the troubled subconscious of someone intrinsically linked to the house. Despite consulting with his medical colleagues, who attempt to explain the bizarre occurrences using conventional scientific theories regarding the body and mind, Faraday remains unconvinced that these rational explanations can fully account for the increasingly aggressive supernatural activities. The disturbances grow bolder. The maids report hearing inexplicable sounds like ringing phones and beckoning call bells in the dead of night, and childish scribbles begin to appear on the walls in the same spots. One night, while investigating a strange sound, Mrs. Ayres finds herself locked-ry of her deceased daughter, who had tragically died of diphtheria at the age of 8. After Caroline and the maids free her, Mrs. Ayres finds solace in what she believes to be her daughter Susan's spectral presence, interpreting the violent disturbances as manifestations of Susan's anger over her untimely death and an eagerness for reunion. However, the situation turns more macabre when the maids later discover Mrs. Ayres' lifeless body, having hanged herself in a bid to join her daughter in the afterlife. In the wake of this tragedy, Caroline and Faraday decide to marry, scheduling the ceremony for 6 weeks later, the very day of Mrs. Ayres' funeral. As the wedding approaches, Caroline's enthusiasm wanes, and she ultimately calls off the marriage, expressing her intent to sell the family estate. Faraday's attempts to dissuade her from what he sees as self-destructive choices prove futile. On the evening they were meant to wed, while Faraday is detained at work, Caroline meets a mysterious fate. According to one of the maids, she ascends the stairs and, with a startled cry of "You," falls to her death. In the years that follow, Faraday returns to the now abandoned 100 Halls, desperate to uncover the truth behind the eerie events that led to Caroline's demise. Yet, despite his lingering hope of finding answers, the mysteries of the estate remain unresolved. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.